and welcome to video lesson number 6. We're on Unit 1, Lesson 6. It's coming from the 5th section of our first chapter in our book. And today we're talking about variables and expressions. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, we need to know that variables are simply just a symbol, usually a letter that represents one or more number. So you're used to seeing the letter X probably in some of your problems. Some of you get a little fearful when you start to see letters in your math problems, but it's nothing to be scared about. We start pretty basic, and quite honestly, you've been doing variables for a long time and you probably just didn't even know it. But yeah, whenever you see a letter, just like this one right here, this X, that's just a variable. So then a variable expression is just a math problem that consists of a number, a variable, some kind of operation. So again, 3 plus x, this right here, is a variable expression. So, notations. Once we start using variables, we have to change our notation a little bit, because x is a really common variable to use. When we start using that and we continue to use the x sign for multiplication, it can get pretty confusing. So one thing you're going to notice is when you see a number right next to a letter, so a number next to any letter, sorry that got a little sloppy there, it just means to multiply. It means 3 times x. So again, if I had this written down, 4z, that just means I'm going to take 4 times whatever z is. Sometimes you'll see a letter or something in parentheses and a number right next to it. And they're always right next to it. They don't try and leave spaces. It's right next to it. This just means 5 times whatever's inside the parentheses. So 5 times, in this case, inside the parentheses, is c. But you might have something like 5 and then a parentheses and x plus 4. That means you're going to figure out what x plus 4 is and then take it times 5. So whenever you have a number right next to a parentheses, that means multiplication as well. And then last but not least, we have the dot, as it's known. And the dot is simply in place of using an x for a multiplication symbol. So you might have 3 and then a dot, and then you might even have another number. That just means 3 times 4. We used to use 3 times 4, but now that we're using variables, we don't want to use that x anymore and confuse people. So we put that dot, and it just means 12. You might have c and then a dot and a 5. That means c times 5. So the dot just means to multiply. And you'll notice we don't want to get it confused with a decimal. So notice it's up here in the middle. We don't put it down at the bottom and try and confuse people with decimals. All right, variable expressions. Evaluate. We kind of struggled with the term evaluate before. Remember, evaluate just means to simplify or kind of solve what we have there. So when we have s plus 9, when s equals 7, you're going to have some examples like this in your homework. All this means is let's take this 7 and plug it in for s and then see what we have. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. Instead of writing s plus 9, I'm going to plug in this 7. 7 plus 9. When I simplify that, I know 7 plus 9 is equal to 16. So when I evaluate this problem here, when s equals 7, my answer is 16. So how about here? 11 parentheses k when k equals 6. Well, let's see what we got going on. What does it mean again when we have a number right next to a parentheses? That's right, we need to multiply. So again, I'm going to substitute this 6 in for k. So I have 11 basically times 6. When I evaluate it, or simplify it, 11 times 6 is 66. So my answer is 66. How about here? We have 6n when n equals 10. What does it mean? 6n, what is that? Oh, that's right. Back from our previous slide, we know that when we have a number right next to a letter, it means multiply. So I'm going to substitute 10 in for the n, and I have 6. I'm going to put that dot in there so I don't think it's 610. 6 times 10, evaluate, 60 is my answer. And last but not least, x minus 3 when x equals 72. I'm going to plug in 72 for x. And my answer is 69. Good job. Let's keep going. What about when we have a multi-step problem? We're not in kindergarten anymore. We're not in 3rd grade anymore. So we're starting to get a little bit harder problems, which, remember, we learned how to do that with our order of operations. Remember PEMDAS? This is not going to be any different. All we're going to do is substitute in what that value is for the variable and then solve it using our order of operations if need be. So let's go ahead and we're going to substitute 3n for y. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. 200 times 3 minus 10. All right, so 200 times 3 minus 10. Order of operations, I have PEMDAS. Do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? No. So then I'm on to multiplication and division. Do I have that? Yes. So I'm going to do this part first. 200 times 3, I know is 600. So now I've got 600 minus 10. That's my last operation. My answer is going to be 590. So let's move on to this one. I'm going to take and substitute 6 in for the y. So when I rewrite my problem, I have 4 times 6 plus 15. So again, order of operations, I don't have any parentheses, I don't have any exponents, I do have multiplication. So I'm going to take and do this part of the problem first. 4 times 6, I know, equals 24. So 24 plus 15. Don't forget, if you need to rewrite it and do it that way, that's okay too. 4 plus 5 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3. Your answer to this problem is 39. You guys are doing great. Keep it up. All right, so here's a challenge. I want you to go ahead and try it. If we want to take a field trip and it's going to cost us $4 per student and $75 for the bus, can we write a variable expression for this problem to figure out what it would cost anybody who wanted to take it, any school that wanted to take it? I want you to pause and go ahead and try this challenge. All right, if you paused and figured out what this challenge is, we need to figure out it's going to cost us $4 per student and then a flat rate of $75 for the bus. So we want to say that the cost is going to cost us $4 per student, 4 times however many students there are, plus a flat rate of $75. We should be able to use this variable expression to figure out no matter how many students we have. And here you go. I want you to go ahead and try a few here. Looks like we're a little bit far over here, so I'm just going to move it for you. There you go. You go ahead and try these, and we'll check them tomorrow in class. Good luck and have a great night.